Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to take a look at a very underrated area of Football Manager for me and that is the staff section. So we're going to dive in a second. We're going to take a look at what Bath currently have in place ranging from the assistant manager to the coaches to the scouting setup to the medical department, and take a look at what they've really got to offer. And knowing what I'm going to most likely do is probably fire them all. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so first of all, you find me exactly where I was at the end of last episode. I haven't clicked continue once, so I'm still on the 24th of June 2019. So let's dive in and take a look at the staff, as I said. So, not the worst staff by any means. I don't think we're the worst in any department in the coaching setup. Obviously you've got myself as the manager, one assistant, we've got a head of youth development and currently one of two coaches. My aim is, as always, is to be the best in whatever division I am in. So we'll take a look at these staff, but we're also going to look at the recruitment team, because as you can see I've got 4 slots here. So I've got a vacant director of football, which is nice, chief data analyst, and I believe, and 2 scout slots to fill. Again, with the medical staff, we're going to look at head physio, head of sports science, which I probably shouldn't have looking at the staff numbers, and then it looks like we can appoint another physiotherapist. So there's plenty of improvement here. So let's take a look, starting at the coaching staff. So the assistant manager, Jim Rollo. Okay. God, he's been at Bath all his life by the looks of things. As a player a couple of times. Player fitness coach, So this guy looks like a bit of a club legend. However, unfortunately, he's not quite cutting it for me in terms of what I'd want in an assistant manager. Ability to judge a player, pretty poor. His motivation is decent for this level, but I'm pretty sure there's better out there. So we'll have to take a strong look at the assistant manager position. Billy Clark, head of youth development, again not great at judging player ability or player potential. Minimal reputation as well, which doesn't really help for the head of youth development. And actually you're quite decent, Dom Coleman, for a goalkeeping coach. Not the worst, 9s across the board. Decent determination, good adaptability, good level of discipline, good man management, good motivating. He's actually a better judge of ability than my assistant manager. We'll definitely take a look at that. And obviously I've got 1 slot to fill with 1 vacant coaching slot. Ideally I'd like more, but I understand that I'm semi-professional at this point. So in the recruitment section we have 1 chief scout. As I said earlier, we can appoint 1 director of football and 2 scouts and 1 data analyst. So what is our chief scout looking like? Jake Reeves. 2 4s. That's not great. I'm sorry, Jake, you're a regen anyway, so you're going to be going. And then obviously I'll aim to fill up all these other slots and make my judging player potential, judging player ability, and all the data presentation stuff as good as it possibly can be. It's difficult with 1 data analyst to improve these as much as possible, but we will give it a go. So moving into the medical area, 7 on physiotherapy again. This is not great. And who is the other person? Head of sports science with a whopping 3 on sports science. Okay, we definitely need to address this. So where I'm going to go is I'm going to go straight into the staff search. And as you can see, I've already been doing some work off of camera to try and find some people. So let's clear that. Again, I'm using the view from FM Scout. So again, if you want this exact view, it tells you how good everyone is basically. It's really, really quite a nice view. It helps you distinguish who's got a really good rating and shows you everything about them basically, where they are, what job they prefer, what sort of wages they're expecting when their contract expires, if they are with anyone at the moment. Also shows you their last club and a couple of other things about their adaptability and determination as well, which is quite nice. So first things first, I'm going to look at Roy Aitken is the person who I've signalled as my assistant manager. As you can see, he is much better than Jim. Doesn't have a face, not overly worried about that, but basically beats him in every stat. So we will be making an offer to Roy. Hopefully he wants to come and work for Bath City. He wants to come in as director of football, but I would actually rather you be my assistant manager. Ooh, that seriously affects the amount of money I can actually offer him. Oof. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to afford him, so we will come back to him. So some of the other coaches I signalled were Dave Robertson, very good coach, lovely stats all across the board actually. So let's see if Dave wants to come in. He wants to be director of football as well. I don't want you to be director of football, I want you as a coach. Please. Okay, this is not going well. I thought I included realistic appointments, but I did include realistic appointments, but it doesn't look like anybody wants to join us for the money that I have to spend. Now, I identified Luther Blissett as a head of youth development. He does want to come in. Part-time head of youth. Okay. Let's see if we can save a little bit of cash here. Go on, 160. Good lad. Right, okay. So that's a new head of youth development. That's okay. We're happy with that. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes down here. David Tuttle was the other coach that I wanted. Pretty decent across the board, 20 out of 20 for adaptability, which is great. And he's unemployed. Why do you want to come in as a scout? I don't want you as a scout, I want you as a coach. He is adamant he wants to come in as a chief scout, even though he's better as a coach, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. This is tough. This is tough. I thought there'd be more people. In all honesty, I really thought there'd be more people. Really disappointed that I can't get Roy in at all. Really disappointed. I'll try and figure something out. Really need to figure something out here. You could come in as a fitness coach potentially. Who else did I signal? Okay, we'll come back to this section. Now we want to find some scouts. So we'll go into the scouts. There we go, bit so. Okay, so now we move into the scouts. So now we've selected scout for the staff role, filter down all the scouts. You want your scouts to be good at judging player ability, judging player potential. 15 is way too optimistic for this level. Still filtering. And here is the guy who I signified I wanted to be my chief scout, Robert Easom, former manager of Staines, great adaptability, 10s across the board, massively improve on my 4s that my chief scout currently has. Wants to come in as a scout. Let's always try and save a little bit of cash. He's offered to meet in the middle. Happy with that. Okay, so here is the second scout that I've marked. Obviously he only knows England, but kind of only wanting to know England at this point. He's been a scout at chief scout at Villa twice, been a scout at Liverpool, good adaptability, 9 and 8s on the scouting, so we will approach the sign Paddy. Also wants to come in as a scout. If he goes for 180, he's going to be on the same wage as our chief scout, amazing. So that'll be another scout secured. Now, here is the final scout that I wanted to bring in, Gianluca Romano. He's been a scout at a couple of places, well, no, just at Leyton Orient in England. Former player for Juventus. Interesting. But I'm bringing him in predominantly because of his scouting knowledge of Italy. So, Gianluca Romano wants to come in as a scout. always try and save a little bit of money at this level. Meets at 160, finalise. Happy with the scouting. That has worked much better than I wanted it, than the coaching setup. So now I want to find a chief data analyst. So they are in recruitment as well, data analyst. I always use this just to pick everybody. Scout roles, chief data analyst, that's what you want. As I said, 15's a bit too much. I can't remember the actual stats of these people off the top of my head. There we go. Knocked it all the way down to 8s and I found who I wanted to. Damn Mian. Annoyingly may have to pay some compensation here. But yeah, so 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 20 for presented data, 9 in 8. Actually quite happy with that as a data analyst. So let's approach to sign him. I don't want him as an under-18s coach. I would like you as my chief data analyst. What are your thoughts on that? You want to come in as an under-18s coach. I really don't want you there. See, this is what I don't understand. Fully competent in that, but you want something that he's not overly comfortable with, which makes no sense to me. Okay, on the second time of asking, he's accepted that, which is good. So, I can also take a look at the medical department now. It's the last one, and then I'll need to try and find some other coaches. Medical department. So we want a physio, so we can get a new head physio, and we can also get a new head of sports science. I'm hoping so anyway. We've got 1 out of 0, so you never know. They may just say, not on your Nelly. Okay. This is the guy who I'd earmarked to come in as physio. As you can see, 16 physiotherapy, much better than what I currently have. I actually want you to be my head physio, sir. However, I can't afford that wage. Thoughts? Okay, he is frustrated. And I kind of understand why. So let's up this and try and find some better physios who I can actually afford. Okay, let's have a look at the 15s. So the guy who Kevin Oxby, wherever he is, he's another person that I'd earmarked to come in as my secondary physio. Under 18s physio, I actually want you as a normal physio, sir. Lovely stuff. Kevin Oxby, welcome to the club. Miles Warren, 15s, I'm not overly happy with 15s. I'd like something a little bit more, but that's 15s all across the board. Wow. Okay. Is there anyone other than Kevin Oxby with a 16? Richard Higgs. I'm actually quite happy with that. Paul Smith, 16s. Mark Sutty. Guernsey. Amazing. Okay, I actually quite like the look of Richard Higgs. Good level of discipline as well, not that that makes a huge difference for a physiotherapist. So medical, you're going to be our head physio, why not? And he's happy with that. Magical stuff. So now that leaves one. Okay, so that now leaves one more person within the medical department, and that is the sports scientist. Now, as I said, we currently have one. I don't think we should have one, but as we've got one, they may let us appoint one to take over from the one we've already got. Was 12 a bit optimistic? Yes, probably. So let's knock that down to 10. One person found, Gareth Thomas. That is the person who I'd written down. So, approach to sign. Under 18. Why can't I appoint everybody as an under 18s sports scientist? I want you to come in as a head of sports science for my first team, please. Want to meet me in the middle at 160? He is happy at 160. Okay, so I've done the recruitment team and I've done the medical team, but I'm not happy with the coaching team. Not really appointed anybody. Not really found anyone who fits my bill really that I can afford. So I'll come back to you once I've found someone to fit those roles. Okay, so we've advanced a couple of days and we are now back. I'm still yet to find a director of football, and I was blocked from getting a new head of sports science, which is a bit disappointing. But as you can see, everyone here is infinitely better than they were before. I've also asked the board for another member of coaching staff, which they granted me for the first team. And one other thing, I'm still looking for an under-23s manager, which will obviously help with my coaching levels. So let's give you a quick run through of everybody. So as I said, my new assistant is Mickey Addons. He's come in. Fairly professional, good reputation, pretty good at coaching as well, all across the board. I brought in Luther Blissett as my new head of youth development. Very good stats for judging player ability and player potential. I might actually get him to do my reports on my players. Actually, that's a good shout. So Philip Llewellyn brought this guy in from Merthyr. Again, pretty solid all across the board. He was my coach that I brought in to basically handle the depth of coaching basically across the board. Alan Stewart is the fitness coach I brought in from Loughborough. He's very good. He's covering both strength and quickness in the training. I will show you that in a second. And then Steve Widdowson wasn't my first choice as a goalkeeping coach, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. He comes in, he's got 12s all across the board. Definitely helps. As you can see, across the categories, I now have the best coaching in every category except from goalkeeping, distribution and goalkeeping shot stopping. This is the position I want to be in. So moving into the recruitment team, as I said, still looking for that director of football, but now we've got the chief scout. What? He's still here? Okay, so Gianluca Romano's there. Robert Eason's there. Dan Meechan's there. So my chief scout, they've still not got rid of him. I really thought I'd got rid of him. Okay, well I'll look at replacing Jake Reeves again. But as you can see though, in the scouting category, I'm coming out on top in everything already. Apart from judging technical data, is that? Oh, team data. Okay. And then yeah, in the physiotherapy, I'm the best. Again, as I said, they wouldn't allow me to appoint a different sports scientist because I shouldn't have one in the first place. So as you can see here, the staffing is infinitely better. And as you can see, when you go into training and coaches and edit coach assignments, you can see how we're covering training. I like to have every coach's workload as light. I mean, I'm a bit frustrated that Alan Stewart's is average, but average isn't the worst. As you can see, each category 2.5 stars across the board, except from attacking technical and possession tactical, and strength. But that's because of the depth of coach roster that we have. It's just not deep enough to handle everything at the moment. But as you can see, this is a massive improvement and will definitely help you along the way. Having the best staff in the league definitely helps. And one thing else I wanted to show you was in the schedule. We played the customary game against our under-23s and the formation seems to be working because we won 7-1. Now, I'm not reading too much into this. It was against our under-23s. They are not great, although this guy... Ooh. Yeah, not great. I need to check through these under-23s and see if any of them are any good. Ross Fraser, yeah, again, still not great. Happy with that. Happy with the way the team's played. 2 goals up front for Lewis Britton, who I've just chucked in at striker at the moment. Looking to maybe make a change, maybe not. We'll see. I'm actually quite happy with the squad currently, so we will move on. I'm going to hammer through pre-season and I will see you guys in the next video.